Hello everyone, I'm Sean.
This is who?
We are the Courageour Frights, back once again for another series review.
Yes.
So this time we're doing the final 2 episodes of Ahsoka. So let's start with episode 7, an episode where nothing really happens.
Yeah, nothing really happened. I think the major point is Baylan and Hadi is kind of like separating, which we kind of known that in the last episode.
Yeah, but the way they part is so random.
Yeah, it was like, I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm just, I live here now.
Yeah, it's like, I live here now.
And then she's like, so you're not gonna help me? He's like, no, I don't think I will.
Yes, I live in Skyrim now.
So he just literally becomes old man Captain America.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's just like, no, I don't think I will.
Yeah, he's just like, okay.
and then Shin's just like, okay, fine then.
Yeah, and then she's gonna go fight everyone else.
She leads her army of bandits.
Or samurai warriors.
Who come from another planet whose language she can't possibly know how to speak.
Yes. She has Force Basic.
Cool.
So it just turns everyone's voice into basic.
And these guys just follow her because she's got a big glow stick.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And then Ezra is Space Jesus.
Yeah.
He decides that he can fight people without actually fighting them. He's just going to use the Force.
He's going to fight them with pacifism.
Yes, the Force is his ally.
Yes.
Until the stormtroopers show up and then the blaster becomes his ally.
Yeah.
And he decides to shoot people in the face now. Which I actually enjoyed because it basically was just kind of proving that stuff at the beginning was just like a joke.
Actually, I was thinking about it. Where were they going exactly?
I don't know. They're just riding along.
Yeah, it's like if they were going back to like the main tower.
Yeah.
Like Thrawn could have just literally sat there and be like, "Fire when ready," and just launched a bunch of like turbo boats. Into,
as we find out in the next episode, they can't hit anything.
Yeah.
So.
But if they're riding around like pillbug vehicles,
yeah,
they probably could have hit that at least.
I would hope.
Yeah. So I was like, where? Because I don't know, where were they going? They like literally were going
they're
somewhere.
Just going somewhere because Shin won't tell Ezra anything.
Yeah.
I saw somebody once. It was actually, I think, Alex on Angry Joe's show.
Yeah.
Described Sabine as the person in a zombie movie who got bit but won't tell anyone.
Yes.
And I feel like that's fairly accurate.
Pretty much.
She knows that if they don't get to Thrawn, like, in the next hour, that he's going to leave the planet without them.
Because he told her that, specifically.
Right. And she decides not to share this with Ezra at all.
Yeah, it's like, we need to get going here.
So they're just, like, casually just riding along with their trailer park of hermit crab men.
Yes.
And then they get attacked by the Hadi and her gang of warg wolf riders.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so the orcs attack on their wargs.
Yes.
And Ahsoka shows up.
Yeah, because I think
this is the episode that she comes with the whale.
Yeah,
and she
where
hides in the asteroid
like
field.
literally like shooting at the whales, and then they fly out of there.
The whales peace out. Ahsoka hides in the debris.
And then the Night Mothers can like triangulate where she's at.
Yes, which I think we'll go into what Thrawn's plans with them are in the future. Yeah. But eventually they find Ahsoka. Ahsoka uses the Force to contact Sabine, gets a lock on her location.
Yeah.
And then they escape. They get to the planet's surface. Ahsoka lands right in front of Baylan for some reason, even though Baylan is not participating in the fight.
Yeah, Baylan's literally just sitting there.
He's just standing there.
He's just
and
like,
then
whatever.
Baylan's like, I can't allow you to proceed.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, I'm not going to do anything, but I'm also not going to allow you to kill my student.
If you attack me, then I will attack you.
Yes, basically.
But other than that, he's like, I don't want to fight you.
It's like, I will defend myself. And Ahsoka basically lands on his head, so...
Yeah, and she's fighting him, and then he's like... Then I think her plan was to take his warg, and that was like it.
Which she succeeds in, because he says, you can't beat me. And she's like, I don't need to beat you.
I just need your vehicle.
I just need your wolf thing.
Yeah.
So then she rides over. She meets up with Ezra, who's now shooting people in the face.
Yeah.
And
his pacifism turned to a gun.
Yes, it manifested into a gun.
Yeah.
And
a blaster.
This isn't.
Yeah, this isn't.
This is
Andor.
But like I said, I did kind of like that because Ezra's always been sort of a cheesy guy, so I think he was just showing off with his Force crap. And then
he was showing off on Sabine, saying, "You can't use the horse. Why
yeah,
use it?
you can't do this, can you?" But Shin does fight Ezra. She manages to singe his hair at one point.
Yeah.
And then that's all she manages to do, because Ezra is able to actually defeat her with just a force and no weapon.
Yeah.
Which proves that despite being a hottie,
she's
not really capable of winning in a fight against any of these people.
Because Balin specifically said something to her before she left, is like, don't be as reckless. You want to be
something like that.
Which I guess maybe her character is more reckless because she's been fighting like everyone all this time.
She's reckless 50% of the
time. Yeah, pretty much.
When the writing determines that she's reckless that day, she is. But then other days she's more cautious than Balin.
Yeah, cautious and calm and stuff.
She's cautiously reckless.
Yes.
Or recklessly calm, depending on the situation.
His last parting words was, "Don't be too reckless."
Yeah, so then she decides to try to fight Ezra, Sabine, and Ahsoka at the same time. And she realizes that this is not working.
Yeah.
So then she runs away. Everybody runs away.
Yeah. I think Ahsoka's like, "Come with me if you want to live."
Come with me if you want to live.
Because she's like, "I could train you."
Yeah.
Because I guess she's more like a character is kind of like...
But then she runs away.
Yeah. Untempered, I guess you can say.
Yeah. And then, did anything else happen in this episode? It was basically just this fight.
I think we saw like Thrawn's AOL like download speeds going at the end.
Oh yeah.
Because he's like, they have succeeded in time, and it shows like his screen, and it's like 80% is completed. It's like, okay.
Yeah, he's downloading the latest update.
Yeah, and that was like the very end of it, because he was like, oh. But it didn't really explain anything that was like the interesting parts at all.
No, they didn't explain any of the stuff. We saw our last review. We had all these crazy wild theories.
Yes.
So episode 7 didn't explain any of them. So prepare to get ready for all the truths to be revealed in another show.
Yeah.
Because episode 8 doesn't explain anything either.
I thought 8 is like almost like a very like quick continuation from that.
7, yeah. So 8 starts with them once again on the trailer park ride across the planet with the hermit crab people.
Yeah, but this time they have a spacecraft with them.
Yes, Ezra finds out that, or now Ezra has decided that he does in fact need a lightsaber.
Yes.
So he builds an exact duplicate to Kanan Jarrus' lightsaber because there was only 2 of the one part available in existence, and Hu Yang happened to have the second part.
Yeah, he just had it with him.
He just had it on it in his
whole
pocket.
Time for 1,000 years or whatever.
Yeah, in his pocket.
Yes, he's like, oh, I found this the other day.
Okay.
So here you go.
We get some more exposition between Sabine and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And then Thrawn sends TIE fighters to attack them.
Yeah, because he's like, I fought many Jedis. It's like,
yes,
I'm not gonna.
And a single Jedi defeated me once before.
Yeah,
talking about Ezra.
Yeah,
and then which he's like one of the worst Jedi, but he beat him.
Yeah,
and then so they take out the TIE fighters, but they crash the ship.
Yeah,
so then they have to
the weird way of destroying the TIE fighters. Them running into them.
They just ram into the TIE fighters because the TIE fighters aren't capable of moving sideways.
Turning.
Out of the way.
Yeah,
they don't know how to turn.
Their whole thing is driving straight.
Yeah. And then so TIE fighter pilots blow up, but they manage to down the spacecraft.
Yeah, because the stabilizers are like failing.
Yeah, so then Ezra, Sabine, and Ahsoka all ride towards the ship on their wargs.
Yeah.
But Thrawn fires his main cannons, and he can't hit shit.
Yeah.
So then they get inside the temple.
Yeah.
But earlier in the episode, they managed to do the Super Saiyan God ritual, where they all stood around and transferred their energy into one person.
Yeah.
So it made Morgan and Elsbeth like extra strong.
Yeah, to like a night. I don't know, what were they doing? Were they just like giving her like
super night sister now?
Yeah, I thought she was like. Was it like a ritual thing or something?
Yeah, something like that. It's Night Sister Magics.
Okay, Magics.
As they say, which I believe is spelled with a CK at the end.
Yes, and they gave her a sword.
Yeah, this is the sword of Towson, which is a reference most likely to Mother Talzin, who is like the leader of the Night Sisters.
Okay.
It's probably not specifically, maybe it is specifically Mother Talzin, but it might be like, I don't know, lineage, family or something, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so now she has a glow sword.
Yeah.
And she's got like black eyes and cool tattoos now.
Yes.
It's supposed to power her up. And then they have a bunch of stormtroopers, night troopers, whatever, that they tell them that they're about to like commit a great sacrifice to protect the Empire.
Literally go run into his death.
Yeah, and Thrawn says, I've brought freedom, peace, and security to my new empire. Yeah. And then they go downstairs to fight the Jedi, and they all get killed in like destroyed. 2 seconds, like usual.
Yeah.
But now the Night Sisters do their cool spell, and it like resurrects.
Yeah, this is where you can see them turning like zombies.
Yeah, so whereas in the past we theorized that they were zombies, I guess they weren't yet.
Yeah.
But then they became zombies.
They became the zombies.
They are now the zombies.
Yes.
No, John, you are the zombie.
Yes.
But, yeah, so that happens. They keep resurrecting. Eventually, Ezra, Sabine, and Ahsoka get away from them, but they have to fight them several times now.
Yeah, because they're, like, trying to go up the,
staircase,
and they close the blast door on them.
Yes.
So.
But they somehow cut through the blast door.
Yeah, they destroyed it.
Even though I don't think any of them had anything that could cut through it.
And they were, like, smart zombies, too. They were, like...
They were still using their guns and stuff.
Part of them was, like, stupid, and then the other part was, like, you're like your...
They're, like, shambling zombies with guns.
Yeah. And then they became, like, running zombies.
Yeah.
That can just... Maybe you can kind of control that over
They just evolve quickly. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could also be a small nod to... I think it was Death Troopers, which was a novel about, like, zombies in the Star Wars universe or something like that.
Which is I do kind of like that concept where... You have, like, necromancers.
Yeah, in this case, it's necromancers. I never read the Death Trooper book, but I feel like it was more like a virus or something. Yeah. So, in this one, it's a necromancer type thing. And then Morgan shows up to fight them.
Yeah.
She fights Ahsoka. Ahsoka tells Sabine and Ezra to get to the chopper.
Because Thrawn is at this point. Thrawn is actually on his way to like getting out of there,
right?
Going back to the other galaxy.
Yeah, he's about to leave. So he tells them to fight them, but then these 2 black stormtroopers that we never really addressed show up, and they're either like super zombies or something not human.
Yeah, because it shows him like the one guy's mask is like kind of ripped off. He kind of looks like a zombie. Like he looks like a ghoul or something.
Yeah, he's like a super decayed zombie.
Yeah, he's like been dead for a while.
Like he's been dead.
Yeah.
So
he's like re-dead at this point.
Yeah. So I don't know what
they're getting shot and just kind of just walking forward. That's like it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what their deal is, but yeah, they're something else, something different.
Because they're like pretty tough because they just don't go down.
Yeah, like Ezra stabs one right through the chest and it doesn't care.
Yeah.
So yeah, eventually they beat them all. Sabine learns how to force pull stuff.
Yeah.
She force pulls her
lightsaber. And then
she
learns how to do force push.
Within, like, 5 seconds. Yeah. And, like, one of the strongest force pushes we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because she tells Ezra to jump to get onto the Star Destroyer, but it's too much distance. But then she uses the Force to throw Ezra up into the ship.
Yeah, while these 2 stormtroopers are standing there.
Just stand there and do nothing.
Staring at him is like, oh, I guess he's coming this direction, huh?
Well, should we shoot him? No.
Just let him.
Just let him. So then Ezra's on board the Star Destroyer. Sabine looks like she's going to try to run and jump, but then I guess she eventually decides to turn around and help.
I think she's
Ahsoka.
Like, I want to help Ahsoka instead.
Yeah. So when Sabine comes, it turns the tide. Ahsoka manages to kill Morgan.
Yeah.
Which looks stupid because Morgan is much better fighter than
Yeah. That's the one thing. Rosario Dawson did a pretty decent job, but her choreography...
Her choreography is not the greatest at certain points, and she's fighting the daughter of Dan Inosanto, who was Bruce Lee's, like, premier student.
Yeah.
And I do believe she was actually Bruce Lee's goddaughter.
Oh, there you go.
Also. So, like, they're very close family friends with the Lee family.
Yeah.
And her dad is, like, a premier martial artist in, like, Filipino... fighting methods and stuff. So some of the moves she's pulling off here are far more advanced than anything Rosario is doing.
Yeah.
But anyway, Ahsoka wins because of plot armor.
Yes.
And Sabine's trapped there. Ahsoka's trapped there. They eventually escape on their ship.
Yeah, because I think Thrawn's like
fixed. I guess.
Shoot the tower they're standing on, just like destroy everything where they're at.
Yeah, so I guess they destroyed the zombie stormtroopers, unless they're just undead forever.
I think they're probably dead at this point.
But they're probably dead because then Thrawn, shortly after that, escapes the whole galaxy.
Yeah.
So once the Night Sisters are out of the galaxy,
yeah, they're probably like dead.
Their range would probably be too far away. So I think
I know some like was falling off because like the thing was crumbling underneath their feet.
So I'm assuming they're gone.
Yeah.
And then the episode basically ends because Ezra's trapped on the Star Destroyer for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he apparently steals a space shuttle and leaves, and
it kind of like cuts right to him leaving. Like not even him leaving; it's just like him appearing on.
He just shows up on Hera's ship.
Yeah, wearing the stormtrooper equipment,
wearing a stormtrooper outfit, and then somebody says Ezra returned somehow.
Yeah. Yes. Like actually, why did he? He should have just took his helmet off. Like,
yeah,
like he literally could have walked down there, got shot instantly.
Yeah, that was weird. But yeah, anyway, so somehow Ezra escaped.
Yeah,
and then it cuts to the planet, and then they show us Shin Hati.
Yeah, Shin Hati is going back to the Warlord camp.
Yeah,
of like the samurai guys.
And then she raises her lightsaber,
and then everyone's like, "Oh."
And they're like, yay! And whatever. So now she's a warlord, I guess.
And then Baylan Skoll is on a statue of himself, looking out in the distance.
Yes, we are fully aware that the statue is the father of Mortis.
Even though it looks like him.
But yeah, it kind of looks like Baylan.
And then when he's looking at where the statue's pointing to, it's like a weird like glitch or something. I don't know. It's like a light that you can see in the distance.
Yeah, it's a glitch in the starfield.
So and he's wearing a cloak, like a new cloak somehow.
Yeah, he beat up Jon Snow and took his cloak.
Yeah.
On the way to the statue.
And then I think Ahsoka and Sabine are with like the pillbugs.
Yeah.
But then Sabine's like, "Oh, I feel something out there."
Oh yeah.
And then Ahsoka didn't feel anything, I guess.
She didn't feel anything, but it's Anakin's Force Ghost.
Anakin's Force Ghost is literally just standing there, like, staring at him, like, in the distance.
Yeah. But somehow Sabine felt it.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. Yeah. That's literally it, because I think the Anakin thing's the last scene we see.
The Anakin thing's the last scene, which...
So now
it opens more doors.
Now we have more questions than we had 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Because how does Sabine and Ahsoka leave the planet, assuming they take Shin with them because they can't leave her behind.
Yeah.
She's a hottie.
And then, especially with her line saying, "I can help you."
Yeah.
Be whatever.
Right.
She's probably going to be like turn into like a good guy or maybe like help them somehow.
And then whatever Baylan's doing.
Yeah, whatever Baylan's, and that's the only problem is with that actor passing away.
Right. They have to recast him because there was way too much time in this season spent on whatever he was searching for.
I kind of wonder maybe they didn't have more. Did they finish before he passed away, or was he still in filming?
I have no idea.
Because I think it's kind of weird. It's
I feel like they did finish filming that.
Okay.
It is a weird placement. I know a lot of fan casting has been going around. A lot of people have been talking about Liev Schreiber, who was Sabretooth in the Wolverine movie, and he does kind of resemble him.
Yeah.
So that could work.
I think you need someone has like that imposing figure.
Yeah,
because Ray was like, he was like taller than everyone else, and he just looked imposing.
Yeah. I think that might work. Somebody like him.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily have to be him, but somebody like him. But you do have to recast at this point because that was too important of a storyline. Yeah, it was like half the season, and it was the big question of the season.
Yeah, and it still is a big question of what's going on. What is he looking for?
We know it has something to do with the Mortis gods, but what? It doesn't. They haven't really explained it. There's a couple ways that they could get back, but I guess before we talk about that, we'll talk about Thrawn.
Yeah.
So Thrawn escaped. He's going to Dathomir.
Yeah.
With the Night Sisters or the Great Mothers or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the Great Mothers are more powerful than the Night Sisters were.
Probably.
Because the Night Sisters are gone. They got wiped out in the Clone Wars. So it's basically a dead planet. But that doesn't mean that there aren't artifacts there. They could probably figure out a way to resurrect Mother
It was
Taliesin
like
or something.
Morgan was she like the last of them? Or something?
Yeah, something like that. Like, as far as we know.
Okay.
There might be pockets, just like the last of the Jedi, but there's like 50 Jedi running around. So I'm sure there's probably more Night Sisters somewhere.
Yeah.
But they could possibly like use artifacts or something to enhance their power, or
probably
figure out a way to resurrect the Night Sisters.
Yeah, they probably was resurrection, because they made a point of them showing that they can resurrect people.
Yes.
Even if we weren't know that before from a couple episodes back, but
and maybe enhanced fighting prowess of people or something.
Yeah, that's probably good. That's probably what they're going to try to do.
Because they did that already with Morgan, where they physically enhanced her abilities. And they did that with Savage Opress and Darth Maul in the Clone Wars show. So, but I think they may go further than that and do this sort of like battle enhancement type. There's a term for it. I can't remember what it is.
I know they talk about it in
Heir to the Empire.
Heir to the Empire they have it, and also like Knights of the Republic they have. They say Jedi have specific they're almost like a paragon that kind of rallies the troops.
Yeah,
and that's why they're like so better fighting compared to like everyone else.
Right, because Thrawn theorized in the Heir to the Empire book that the reason why the Empire was so powerful was the Emperor was like boosting everybody's battle abilities.
Yeah,
he boosts all your stats.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then when he died, that's why they sucked.
Yeah.
And then Thrawn uses Sabaoth to do that in the book. At least that's his plan.
Yeah.
And I think that might be what Thrawn's going to do with the Night Sisters.
That's why he's so good at doing things. It's like because they're like battle hardened, even though they're not like battle hardened. I guess.
Yeah, they are battle hardened, but then this enhances
like super battle hardened.
Yeah. This enhances all their abilities.
Yeah.
All their stats.
Yes.
They're able to coordinate better, and they can think better.
They can shoot straight.
Straighter.
Which, that makes sense. I can see them doing that in this like next season, or there's not even a greenlit season, so I don't know.
We don't know where this is getting resolved. I'm assuming the final resolution of this will be the movie that they announced.
Probably.
But we're not at the point for a movie.
No.
Yet. There has to be at least one more season of something. My guess would be the Heir to the Empire stuff, and it really sort of is Heir to the Empire now because we've stranded almost all the new characters except for Ezra and Hera.
Yeah.
Aside from Ezra and Hera, all we have in the Rebellion are the regular people in Heir to the Empire.
You have one Jedi left.
You have Luke.
Yeah,
but Luke, you also have Ezra.
Yeah, and Ezra.
And you have Leia out there, but I don't know if they want to even do that.
They're probably going to try to avoid it as much as possible.
And then Han's possibly out there, so they could give us a Luke and Han reunion or something, which we never got.
That's what you would have to do, like... Unless they used to say it was... What was his name from the Solo movie?
Aaron Reich?
Yeah, Aaron Reich is Han Solo.
Yeah.
But being
if they do that, though, then it's going to be weird if Luke's de-aged.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you're going to recast one person, you should recast
They're going to have to do... It's going to be a little bit hard to do.
And if Luke's a common character...
Yeah.
Then I would say he needs to be recast.
Yeah. Just have him in there for, like, just recast. Because people are just smart enough to think, it's like, oh, that's going to be Luke.
Because we're going to have some problems going forward if we don't recast. We're going to have to recast Balin no matter what.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of recasting that's going to happen, I think.
So, Balin's going to get a recast. They may recast Han, Luke, and Leia. They could use Donald Glover for Lando again. Yeah. That would make things easy.
Which I think the original plan was to use Han Solo, like, Aaron Reich as, like, Han Solo and future stuff.
Yeah, and they just haven't cast a Luke.
Yeah.
And instead of figuring out a guy, they did the de-aging thing.
Yeah.
And then I think they got stuck on it because some fans reacted really well to the Luke thing.
Yeah.
But you have certain stuff, like, infamously, Star Wars Theory was crying at the end of season 2 when Luke appeared.
Yeah.
And some people might assume, would he have had the same, like, sort of emotional outburst or whatever if Luke had been some other guy and not Mark Hamill? But I think he would have, because the dude started tearing up as soon as the X-Wing showed up in the hangar. And we don't actually see Mark Hamill's face until the fight's already over.
Yeah, it's like at the very end.
Because it's just glimpses of him. It's like, the idea of Luke.
Yeah.
Not Mark Hamill's face.
Yeah.
That gives that kind of emotional response to hardcore fans.
Yeah.
So I think he would have had the same reaction, and other fans would have had the same reaction if it hadn't been a weird PS3 Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
At the end of Mandalorian. You got a PS4 Mark Hamill in Book of Boba Fett. So maybe we'll get a PS5 one next time.
I think they probably should recast, though, because it's actually it'd be cheaper that way.
Plus, you give the role to another actor. Like, Mark Hamill has officially stated that he will do it if they ask him to, but he's okay with somebody else doing it.
Yeah, because it's like...
He's like 72 years old or something.
It's like, just bring someone else. That way you don't have to keep doing that. And it gets to that point where certain scenes look weird.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's like, I'm okay if somebody else does it. Like, bring somebody else, like Sebastian Stan or whoever. Like, that's just another fan casting.
Yeah, it's just someone that kind of looks like him, I guess.
Yeah, somebody that vaguely looks like him.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be, because we're smart enough to know that's not...
That's Luke.
Yeah, that's Luke.
Like, it's not that difficult to figure out.
Yeah.
Alden Ehrenreich doesn't really look that much like Harrison Ford, but it worked in that movie. And they could just cast Carrie Fisher's daughter as Leia. And
it's like, okay, that's Leia. All right, whatever.
Because I think they've already used her for like mocap stuff before. So like, I personally think they need to recast, especially if those characters. Like, also, what would you rather have as a fan? Glimpses of Mark Hamill or the return of Luke as like a legitimate character in an Heir to the Empire arc,
doing a bunch of stuff
because right now we could actually get Heir to the Empire, or close to it. Because who they have on the playing field now. They removed almost everybody from this series that was new. And Rebels and all that stuff. All the characters that weren't canon in 1990 are all gone except for Ezra and Hera.
Yeah, because they're stuck on a different planet.
Yeah. In a
different galaxy, which they can't get back to. When they specifically said they can't get back to it.
Yeah, so this could be resolved in Season 4 of Mandalorian, which I guess has been like secretly greenlit, but nothing's been officially stated.
Yeah.
I think they're done writing it, but they haven't started filming it or anything.
Yeah, because I think Mandalorian's still like the linchpin of everything, I think.
Right. But then there's a wild card here. So let's talk about the next Star Wars show.
Yeah.
Which is not Mandalorian or Ahsoka Season 2. It's Skeleton Crew.
Yes. Where it's the 40-year-old man with a bunch of kids.
Yes. A 40-year-old man.
That is actually the... whatever.
Yeah, a 40-year-old man traveling the galaxy with a bunch of young teenagers.
It just sounds so bad.
So anyway, let's get into what that actually is.
Yeah.
So there is a plot description for this on Wikipedia, which of course is our go-to news source for all things.
All things Star Wars.
And everything else.
Yes.
All things, period. I get all my information about the news from Wikipedia.
Yes.
If I want to find out what's happening in the war in Ukraine or Israel, I go to Wikipedia. They'll tell me everything I need to know. So anyway, if you go up to Wikipedia and look up Skeleton Crew, you get a plot synopsis. Rather interesting plot synopsis. So this storyline is... Skeleton Crew tells the story of 4 kids who find themselves lost in the vastness of the galaxy, trying to find their way home.
Which is Lost in Space.
So, yes. So this is very similar to Lost in Space, a show from, I believe, the 1960s, but was remade recently on Netflix.
Yeah, and they had a movie in like the 90s.
Weird movie that came around the time as Roland Emmerich's Godzilla and all that kind of stuff. There's also about a family lost in space.
Yeah.
Lost in the galaxy.
Yes.
But here's my question, though, to audience members listening. Are they lost in our galaxy, or are they lost in the galaxy that Ahsoka's currently in?
Which, that's probably what it's hinting at.
Yeah. That's my assumption, is that this is totally based on nothing.
Yeah.
So this is bullshit conjecture, which is something we're very well adept at. So I think, personally, they're on some kind of weird experimental ship that had an engine or something went wrong, some weird freak accident happened, and they ended up jumping galaxies, which is why they're so lost.
Yeah.
Because if they've been lost for years... They've possibly been lost for decades because I guess the idea of this was that they're like younglings with a Jedi. So if that's the case, maybe they disappeared in the Clone Wars and there was like a temporal thing going on or something.
That could be it.
I have no idea. So they're either lost in time, or they're lost in space, but possibly in a different galaxy.
Yeah.
And if their ship is somehow theoretically capable of jumping galaxies, if they're in the galaxy with Ahsoka, how much you want to bet that we have 8 episodes and like 7 of them are just like Monster of the Week adventures or something like that? They're fighting space pirates or what have you.
Yeah.
And then the final episode, they come to the planet Peridia or whatever that Ahsoka and Sabine are on.
They're going to be like, oh, there's a planet with a bunch of dead whales around it. Let's go there.
Yeah. And then that'll be how they get back.
Yeah, like, oh, and then you'll see like Ahsoka and Sabine like looking up or something, and their ship would be coming in.
Yeah, and this is the only ship that has a drive capable of jumping galaxies. It's very convenient. But it could work plot-wise, I guess.
Yeah, because Steve Urkel was there.
That's the one thing we got to talk about. This show has been described as being goofy and scary.
Yes, both at the same time.
And nothing is quite goofier and scarier than Jaleel White.
Yeah.
As a major cast member.
Yes.
This is, of course, Steve Urkel.
He's playing one of the teenagers.
46-year-old Steve Urkel is one of those young teenagers.
Yes.
Because the casting call was for a 30 to 40-year-old man, and Jude Law is that man.
Yeah, he's the man.
Jude Law is a 50-year-old man, so I'm thinking that Jaleel White might be.
Jaleel White is there. He's like one of the staff. He's one of the members, so he's there somewhere. There's only going to be 4 other people who could be.
What's going to happen is going to be, while they were attacked...
Yes.
One of the guys bumped into the weird experimental hyperdrive.
Yeah.
And it launched him into another galaxy. And then they go and they look at the star charts and they're on a totally different galaxy. Nothing matches.
Like, what is this?
Then they'll pan over to that guy and be like, did I do that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much. And that is the start of the skeleton crew. And then the title crawl and skeleton crew comes out.
But, again, this is nonsense. It might not be anything at all.
Yeah.
But it also might be everything.
But thinking about being like the skeleton crew is supposed to be part of the Star Wars cinematic universe here.
Yeah.
It's probably what they're going to be doing. And that's like the twist. Is like they're not in the same galaxy.
That's the easiest way out, I think. Because this is a totally new show.
Because you're going to have to explain... That's the thing. We're going to have to explain how Ahsoka and Sabine and Hottie and if Balin's still there, get back.
Yeah.
In like a couple seasons.
It's either that or whatever Balin's trying to do can open a bridge. And like you said, off recording...
Yeah.
Anakin is there, and Anakin was like flesh and blood physically there in the previous arc in the World Between Worlds.
Yeah, that's the only other spot, and it's like this planet has those guys that are like, I don't know, like they're like the 3 gods or whatever.
Yeah, Mortis gods.
Did they explain in the show? I don't remember. Did they talk about that there? I can't remember one of the episodes they talked about.
They didn't talk about any of the Mortis gods in Ahsoka, but it's in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's like Ezra presses like the portal that gets that area. That's like part of the Clone Wars.
They could do, something like that. He could do, there could be a portal that leads from Peridia to whatever that planet was that they were in.
It has to go in between worlds to get there. But
maybe it leads to that planet that Ahsoka, like, quote unquote, died in.
And Balin's trying to, like, that maybe is where that statue's pointing towards. It's like, that's where you can go to, like, get to that area.
Yeah.
Because that was Palpatine wanted to do that, wasn't it? Wasn't that his whole thing?
That's like in Rebels or something, where Palpatine tries to get into the World Between Worlds.
Yeah, he's been trying to use that power to get there.
Using magic with a K.
And Balin's always wanted to, like, we don't know what Balin's want, like, his whole thing, but that could be what his whole thing is. He's trying to get to the World Between Worlds.
It could be. Because he says he's looking for the beginning.
Yeah, and maybe that might be a way going back to the beginning of the Jedi or something, or maybe the beginning of the Clone Wars or something, and he's trying to do something with it.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, but That's just a theory of
Yeah.
ours because it has to tie in. There has to be a point to
Yeah.
Skeleton Crew. Because they did mention, besides Jude Law and Steve Urkel,
Yeah.
they mentioned that it is, in fact, a show in the Mandalorian Ahsoka timeline.
Yeah, which is leading up to the movie, which is the Thrawn movie.
Yes.
So it all has to connect somehow.
Yeah, it has to connect somehow. This show's already filmed, by the way. So it's like in post. According to Wikipedia, which is never wrong about anything ever.
Yes.
It's supposed to be coming out in 2023. There's not a lot of 2023 left.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's only a couple more months
You're
left.
running out of 2023.
Because it's October.
So that may... Unless it comes out in December. They haven't even talked about this show.
Yeah, because this hasn't been on anyone's radar.
No.
Unless it's like right after Loki's over with. It's like Loki and then Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, because they mentioned this thing like at Star Wars Celebration or something.
Well, the last one, like this year.
I don't even know if it was this year or last year's that they mentioned.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since they talked about Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, because like this is I think when they talked about this, they had an Acolyte, which they haven't talked about at all.
That hasn't even started filming.
Yeah.
That's High Republic too, so...
Oh, okay.
Like, that's going to be way back, like 200 years ago.
Yeah. And then they had also that other show that was supposed to be like the beginning of the Jedi.
Yeah, that was a movie.
And that got canceled.
Yeah, that was a movie that, as far as I know, is not happening now.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be James Mangold's one, but then James Mangold did the thing, the grievous offense of making a movie that's critically panned.
Yes.
Because he made the Indiana Jones movie that didn't
Yes.
do well. So Kathleen Kennedy force choked him to death.
Yes.
So, just like Colin Trevorrow got force choked by Kathleen Kennedy.
Yes.
And we ended up with Rise of Skywalker instead of his idea.
Yes.
So I don't know if James Mangold's is
Alive.
with us anymore.
Yeah. Is he with us? I haven't seen him anything lately.
I'm not sure if that man's still alive.
Yes.
But, yes, I don't know if that's actually happening or not.
Yeah, so...
And it doesn't tie into this anyway.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it does, because Balin's supposed to be seeking the beginning.
Yeah, and the only thing at the beginning of... Either the beginning of the war or beginning of, like, Jedi's...
The beginning of everything.
Yeah, beginning of everything. But then you also run into that thing where, since he passed away, it's like... Will they change into their plans?
Yeah, it could be that, too, because this was kind of... It seemed like it was the linchpin fitting all these multiple story arcs together.
Yeah.
Like, maybe there was a time travel thing going on.
Yeah.
And that's why they announced officially at the last Star Wars Celebration of the different eras.
Yeah.
Because they made a big deal about these eras.
Yeah.
That stories were going to take place in. And then we haven't heard anything since.
Yeah, and it's been, like, kind of nothingness since then.
Yeah. It's just been a void of information.
So
So
ever since, like, really the strikes and stuff, there's, like, nothing has been out.
well, there's that, too. The writer's strikes at the time of this recording are, I believe, finished. However, the actor's strike, I think,
Yeah,
is still
writer's
going
strike's
on.
done. So I guess writers can still go back, or
So they could start getting the stories written up.
Yeah.
And then whenever their actor's strike's done, then they can actually film it.
Yeah, because the actor's strike, I don't know how long that's going to last, but
Yeah.
I can't imagine it being that much longer, but who knows.
Who knows? I can't tell on that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's basically it
Yeah.
for Ahsoka. I don't think we were overly enamored with the last two episodes of Ahsoka, but they're also not the worst thing.
Yeah,
ever.
they're not bad. I would say probably all the Star Wars stuff, other than maybe Mandalorian.
Yeah,
It's
first
probably
two.
at least the second best show they had.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, I would say Mandalorian season 1 and 2 were better.
Yeah.
This was better than 3.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And then, of the shows that this is connected to, yeah, this is probably the second best.
And then you had, like, what else came out? What other Star Wars stuff? Was like Andor?
Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Boba, yeah.
This
Book of
was
Boba Fett
better
was
than
like,
that. I felt this is better than Book of Boba Fett. Andor and Kenobi came out.
Kenobi was...
But those two are also, like, in a different era.
Yeah.
Too, so, like, I mean...
It's like totally different type of story.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what they want to do with
It's just like, except Obi-Wan had some goofy moments.
with the trench coat.
Yeah, the trench coat moment specifically.
That
It
was
was
my
like,
favorite part.
it's like, okay, so maybe that's like 3, but I mean, like I said, these aren't bad shows, so it's not
No,
like,
this wasn't awful.
yeah, it's
So,
not like it's not like these are like horrible, so we're not saying it's like these are all bad or anything like that.
No.
Because I haven't seen Andor, but I heard it's not good.
Well, I've heard that it's like the best thing in the history of Star Wars.
Oh, there you go.
But people who say that may be just a teensy bit pretentious.
Yeah. They like that elevated Star Wars.
Elevated Star Wars.
Yes.
It's the A24 of Star Wars.
Yes. Talking about their blasters.
Their
and
guns.
And their Captain Crunch or whatever.
Oh, God. Captain Crunch. I think the cereal, according to Wikipedia, I think it's called Crunchies.
Is it called Crunch?
And to make matters better, the guy who's always eating the cereal, his name is literally like Cereal or something like that.
Oh, God. It's like Dragon Ball.
Yeah, his name is
Granola.
Dragon Ball naming schemes.
His name is Granola.
Because let me just consult.
He's Admiral Granola.
While I have Wikipedia here, let me consult him.
Let's insult the knowledge base of
the universe and find out what that character's name is. That's always eating Crunchies.
In that Crunchies.
On in the show. So we have, yes, his name is Cyril. Cyril Karn.
Cyril Karn
is the man who eats Crunchies all the time.
He is eating Crunchies constantly.
So the guy named Cyril is eating cereal.
Yes. Space cereal, not even just regular cereal.
Elevated Star Wars.
Yes, elevated Star Wars with their guns. Not blasters, guns. And bolts and whatever.
They're bolts and screws. Again, set off Star Wars.
Yeah, they're bolts and screws.
Nothing sets off Star Wars theory quite like screws and bolts.
Yeah, and guns. Yes. That's elevated Star Wars.
Fantastic stuff. Alright, so I think that's going to do it for our review of Ahsoka.
Yes.
Season 1.
Season 1 right now. I would imagine it's Season 2, but it's not green light.
Maybe, who knows. Unless Season 2 is the Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
So, again, if you like this video, leave a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for more content in the future. Someday, we'll cover more Star Wars content.
Yes.
Whenever there is new content. Right
now, we'll talk about it.
Yes. Right now, it seems like the only thing in the actual cards is Skeleton Crew, but if anything else comes out, we'll let you know.
Which, I don't know if I'm very interested in that right now, but...
Well, it's going to be a while, probably.
Yeah.
So, once again, thanks for listening, and you too can feel the strength welling within. See ya.